since this is a Batman review, I might as well go ahead and go with the big reveal. So, released just now in 2013, we have Batman from the classic TV series line. First off, just looking at the card, it is definitely 60s appropriate. It has the shiny bat signal. It has the 66 Batman logo inside of a green starburst. Almost looks like a screen capture. Batman and Robin in a very nice detailed artwork, if I could just zoom in a little bit. Detailed artwork of their famous wall walks. With even little screen captures from the film and television series. This one, holy forecast, Batman. Batman is in a nice little rectangular trapezoid bubble with little raised bams, whams, and pals in raised plastic. It looks very nice. I really do love the colors. Everything just reminds me of the 60s television series. There is no way to mistake this for anything else. Of course, on the side, we have a collector card included, and they have a screen capture of that same collector card. On the back, we have more pop art, famous 60s popular art trends, made famous by Andy Warhol and, of course, Marvel Comics, among other, popular artists at the time. Shows us everything, same Bat Time, same Bat Channel featuring the Joker, the Riddler, Surf's Up Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin. And what I really do love is the different characters are inside those fuzzy little TV screens. Anyone born after 1999 will probably not recognize this. But now whenever you don't have a signal coming in, it doesn't come out fuzzy, it comes out glitchy. Well, back in the days of analog, whenever you had a disruption in your television signals, it would come in fuzzy, like these little lines or these little little snowflakes we used to call them, used to pepper the screen, really distorting your image. Well, that has been recreated very nicely as a nice little nod to those who remember that long-gone era. So, before we go ahead and just admire this card even more, I think it's time we take him out and we look at exactly So before I go on and on and on about this wonderful card, I think it's time to take Adam West out of the package and we'll see if So I think that's it for the card. Just stay right here and I will be back with a closer look at Adam West's Batman. Something very special I just noticed. When looking at the Batman card, I seem to notice that there is a false front. And taking off that false front is how they're able to hide the collector card. The collector card, of course, we'll be taking a look at later, but I do find that's really cool. Not only does it make for a much better presentation on the toy shelf, so that you can see that wall walk much more clearly, but it also hides a collector card and really does keep the card looking too jumbled and cluttered. So that's a nice little kudos for Mattel right there. They didn't have to do it, but just the fact that they did really shows how much they do care about your consumers, despite what some people may say. Taking Batman out of the package, we notice that it really does look very much like his 1960s live-action counterpart. It really does look like Batman. I am just really impressed by the attention to detail that was given to this action figure. I really am digging the paint jobs, because as you may or may not know, in the original 60s television series, since it was being filmed using the very lavish Technicolor, everything had to be very bright and extravagant. So that meant the very bright satin had to glisten off the camera. So they used a nice little glittery, satin coloring with a very, very blue coloring for his gloves and boots and all the parts that they really wanted to shine. And Mattel has really done a very nice job trying to replicate that shimmering effect with these navy blue glittering paint. It shows very well on the gloves, the boy shorts, the boots, and of course the cowl. One thing is also very noticeable is his scowl. His brow is painted and looks very, very nice. The sculpt of Adam West is very present. It's not 100%, it does look a little cartoony at times, but it's unmistakable from the sides that it is Adam West. His baby blues are also done very nicely, and I really do say one of the most impressive touches, and I'm going to zoom in on this, is the bat symbol. Now, the prototype images we saw of this symbol were just, a generic painted on bat symbol, and a lot of fans, especially loyalists like me to the 60s television series, were a little upset, but hopeful that this classic, iconic 60s television symbol would be added, and of course, my delight, it was. The sculpt itself is very lean yet muscular and very, very accurate for the time, and it's definitely something that Mattel took in great consideration. It does look very accurate to Adam West. His articulation is as follows. He's got the head that swivels and it can rotate 360 degrees, although why you would want it to, I have no idea, you sick freaks. His shoulders are double jointed and they go slightly up and they can go around 360. His biceps, of course, can go 360. He has the bendable elbows and the swivel wrists. His waist is cut right at the belt and can go 360, and he does have a cut torso. Ab crunch, which really doesn't do much of anything. One of the more disappointing aspects is his hip joints. He can slightly go forward, but you would have to open his legs up a little bit for it to go up any further, and that kind of defeats the purpose. For some reason, his joint wasn't cut higher than it should be, and even though you can get him to do some splits, it does look very awkward. So you can move his waist, his hips, his legs up, slightly back, and of course to the side. He's got a cut thigh joint, knees do bend, and of course he does have ankles that pivot. No rocker joint, so sorry about that. The other thing that is really nice about Batman is, for those of you who really enjoy the Kenner Batman figures, he does have the soft goods cape, although it isn't quite, the length of it isn't what I would expect, so you can't really have him hold on to the cape and do some really cool poses with the cape. You can't do any, cape swashes or anything like that. It's a little disappointing. So, another thing that I found a little odd was that the cape was sewn into the figure, and it doesn't go all the way around. The original cape could actually go all the way around, and if he chooses to, he can hide behind the cape. So I guess for cost reasons, it only stands at his, his backside. And because of the way that it's sewn in, it does like to pop up a little bit and does look a little out of place. You can take the cape and kind of drape it back a little bit, but then it just looks even more awkward. There. Now it doesn't look as bad now. Some of the more disappointing aspects of this figure is the paint is, for the most part, the paint is well done. I really don't have all that much to complain about the paint, except a little bit of a thumbprint or something here. Look, I've managed to get a little bit off of it with alcohol, but it looks like I'm going to have to do some more. The belt itself is a little, as we can say, the belt is sculpted too far in, and it really doesn't give the effect that these are actually pockets at all. The belt needs to be a little bit longer, and it needs to be, the pockets need to be out a little bit more. Otherwise, I really don't have any problems with the belt. Oh, the belt buckle has the bat emblem is not really all that centered, and of course the bat emblem is the wrong shape, and it is the wrong size. Looks like it's just the same bat emblem from here for here, and many purists of the television series know that the same bat emblem was not on the belt. Other than that, I really don't have all that much to say negatively about Batman. He does come with a nice little display base, complete with the Automatopoeia POW. Earlier, he does come with a nice little collector card. And this I'm actually proud of. It's a very thick card stock and not just a, flimsy trading card material. So a lot of thought was put into this card. Possibly because it is to be inserted into the base, it needs to be made of a more sturdier material. And I really do love the mural of Batman about ready to initiate the emergency bat turn. It's a very nice artwork. And on the back, there's a nice little mural. I guess all the collector cards will have murals of a piece of the Batcave. This one, of course, is the atomic reactor that powers the Batmobile, or the Batmobile power source, part of the Bat computer, and of course the main portion of the Batmobile. One thing I do have to say is that the placement of the foot peg really does limit what you can do with Batman while posing him on the stand. So trying to do any iconic Adam West poses while on the stand is a little awkward at best. And there we have Batman in all his glory. Since these are the very first action figures of Batman from the 60s television series in the 6-inch scale, I gotta say I'm quite impressed with the output. All of the folds of the costume are there. All the folds in the cowl, the costume, they're there. It very much looks like the 1960s television Batman. I mean, there's no mistaking. Had these been produced in the 1990s or even the early 2000s, we probably would have gotten a more muscular build that would have been completely inaccurate. So you got to give kudos to Mattel for at least presenting a more accurate 60s body build, more accurate for the time period, more accurate for the series, and I very much applaud that. And despite the shortcomings of this particular figure, I really do like it. And I really do feel that all Batman fans would be more than happy to have one in their collection. They are on sale right now, but there are rumors that the line is prematurely ending. So this may be all that we're going to get besides what's left of Series 1, which is Catwoman, Riddler, Joker, Penguin, the Batman and Robin 2-pack, the Batmobile, that Bat2C San Diego Comic-Con exclusive, and of course the Batman variant Surf's Up. So after this may be it for Batman. So if you would like to see this line continue, I suggest going ahead and picking up more figures. The more that Mattel sees an interest in this line, the more interest that they see that could be going into it. This is Trans810, and I'm signing off.